All right, so have you ever been playing your favorite game and it feels like you've done it all?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I know that feeling.
You've beat all the levels and you've got like the best gear and it's starting to get a little stale.
Yeah, yeah, you're just kind of going through the motions.
Exactly. You need a little something new to spice things up, right?
Right.
Well, that is where seasonal modifiers come in.
Oh.
It's this brand new system that's going to like totally change the way you play. We're going to take a deep dive into seasonal modifiers today.
I'm excited.
And it's going to add like a whole new layer of strategy and challenge.
So it's not just like, random little things.
No. They've actually really put a lot of thought into this.
Okay.
And it's all about like how all these modifiers work together like an ecosystem.
Interesting.
So it's not just you pick a modifier and it does its thing. It's like everything you do, like what gear you equip, how you approach combat, it all like plays into these modifiers.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, so we've got 4 main types of modifiers to talk about today.
Okay.
Global, active, passive, and hostile.
All right.
And each one of these plays like a really important role in how this whole system works.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's hear about it.
Okay, so let's start with the global modifier.
Okay.
This is the big one.
The big one.
This is like the theme of the whole season.
Okay.
It's like the always-on effect that's going to impact like everything you do.
Gotcha.
And for this season, it's all about range.
Okay.
And the global modifier is called point blank.
Point blank.
Yeah, sounds pretty intense.
It does.
So essentially what this does is it increases your damage based on how close you are to an enemy.
So the closer you are?
The closer you are, the more damage you do.
Wow. So they're really encouraging like a much more aggressive playstyle.
Yeah, I think they are.
Interesting.
It seems like they're maybe trying to shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, like get people out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of players have been talking about the balance issues with long-range combat.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe this is their way of addressing that.
Interesting. So you think they're trying to encourage more close quarters combat?
Yeah, like kind of like a high risk, high reward kind of thing.
That makes sense.
So you get in there, you do a ton of damage, but obviously you're putting yourself at risk.
Right, more vulnerable.
Exactly. And that's where active modifiers come in.
Oh, okay. Tell me about active modifiers.
So active modifiers are kind of like your special abilities.
Okay.
They're like a short burst of a really powerful effect that can like totally turn the tide of battle in your favor.
So it's not a passive thing. You have to activate it.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
But you can only have one equipped at a time.
Ooh, so you really have to like think strategically.
Exactly. So you have to choose like what's going to be the most beneficial for the situation you're in. And what makes it even more interesting is that these active modifiers this season, they actually interact with those range zones that we were talking about.
The range zones from point blank.
Yeah, exactly, from the point blank global modifier.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me how.
So think about it like this. Let's say you have an active modifier that like creates a vortex.
Okay.
And it sucks all the enemies towards you.
Wow.
Suddenly, even the enemies that were at a safe distance before are now right up in your face.
Yeah.
So you're getting that maximum damage bonus from point blank.
That's awesome.
Or you might have an active modifier that creates like a shockwave that pushes all the enemies away.
Ooh, that would be useful too.
Exactly. If you need a little bit of breathing room,
Yeah, give yourself some space.
Exactly. So it's not just about like dealing damage up close. It's also about controlling the battlefield.
That's really cool. That adds a lot more depth to it.
Right. And then on top of that, we have passive modifiers.
Yeah, passive modifier.
Yeah. And you can equip up to 3 of these. And they're all about like enhancing your character.
Okay.
And they work really well with the global modifier.
So they kind of like complement the point blank?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So they're all about like maximizing your effectiveness in those close range situations.
So give me an example.
So like you could have a passive modifier that increases your armor when you're close to enemies.
Oh, that's cool. So you're taking less damage.
Exactly. Or you could have one that boosts your critical hit chance.
Oh, so you're hitting harder too.
Exactly. So you can really like tailor your build.
To like become a close combat monster.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome.
But it wouldn't be a challenge
Right.
if the enemies weren't also getting tougher.
Of course. Of course they can't just let us walk all over them.
Exactly. And that's where the hostile modifiers come in.
Okay, the enemies get modifiers too?
They do.
Yeah.
Or what do they do?
So as the season goes on, the enemies get stronger and smarter.
Oh, no.
And certain enemy types will start getting new abilities.
That directly counter like our strategies.
So they're adapting to what we're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's devious.
So like, for example, those ranged enemies that we were talking about before,
Yeah.
they might start using abilities that push us away.
Oh, so they can get us out of that point blank range.
Exactly. So it's like we get stronger, but then they adapt and get stronger.
It's an arms race.
It's a constant, like, back and forth.
I love it.
So it's not just about, like, oh, I've got the best modifiers, I'm good to go.
Right.
You have to constantly be thinking and adapting.
So it sounds like strategy is going to be way more important
Oh, absolutely.
than it ever was before.
You have to really think about your active modifiers, your passive modifiers,
Yeah.
and how you're going to counter what the enemies are throwing at you.
That's amazing.
And the developers have even given us a way to opt out of all of this.
Really?
Yeah, if you want, like, the more traditional experience,
You can just turn it off.
you could just disable the whole modifier system.
Wow, so they really are trying to accommodate everyone.
Yeah, they want to make sure that, like, everyone can enjoy the game,
That's great.
whether they want to embrace these new modifiers or they just want to stick with what they know.
That's a good design.
So basically what we're looking at here is like a whole new way to play the game.
Sounds like it.
It's dynamic, it's strategic,
It's exciting.
it's exciting. Yeah.
So how do you think you're going to use these modifiers?
Oh, I'm still trying to wrap my head around all the
It
possibilities.
is a lot to take in.
It is, yeah.
So many combinations.
I mean, are you going to go all in on that close combat style?
I think I might have to.
Yeah,
Point blank sounds pretty fun.
it does. It does.
I like the idea of getting up close and personal,
Yeah.
but I'm definitely going to have to experiment with those active and passive modifiers.
Indeed, too.
See what kind of crazy combinations I can come up with.
Exactly, because there's so much potential there.
Absolutely.
And the fact that the enemies are going to be changing, too. It's going to keep things interesting.
Keeps you on your toes.
It does. It does.
Well, I have to say, I'm really excited about this.
Me too.
I think this could really change the way we play the game.
I think so too. And I'm really excited to see what the community comes up with.
Oh, me too.
Like what kind of crazy strategies and builds and how people are going to tackle these challenges.
I bet there are going to be some really creative solutions out there.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Things we haven't even thought of.
Exactly. So if you're listening
Yeah.
and you come up with some awesome combo.
Share it.
Yeah. Share it with the community. Let's all learn from each other.
Exactly. We can all benefit from that.
And who knows? Maybe you'll be the one to discover the ultimate modifier combo.
The ultimate build.
Ultimate build. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I can't wait to see what happens.
Me neither. This is going to be a fun season.
It is.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have time for today.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone.
And good luck out there with those modifiers.
We'll see you next time.
See you.